Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a standoff at a Victoria apartment ends with a wanted man in custody, plus a discovery inside that led to even more charges.
The Seadrift City Council is meeting to tackle the ongoing water issues and discuss key changes to city positions.
And Lavaca County officials sound the alarm on scammers tricking residents and targeting personal information.
Another beautiful day, getting up to 80 degrees if you don't mind the morning fog. We're likely to see the morning fog again tomorrow. We'll be talking about it coming up in a moment.
And the Cuero Lady Gobblers are ready to reach the state title versus the Bridge City Cardinals in 4A Division II. We'll get you a live look at the Merrill Center later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker.
Well, Seadrift City Council is holding a special meeting tonight where they will discuss the ongoing water issues and possible changes to several administrative positions.
25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting is live in Seadrift and joins us with more details. Trenton?
Dawn, Shawna, thank you. One of the main things we're watching for during tonight's meeting is about a pair of grievances against Alderman Paul Gonzalez. Former Public Works Director Robert Bryant and Patrol Officer James Easley are the two parties looking to address their grievances with the alderman. Details surrounding these complaints are unconfirmed by the city, but they'll reveal those details, discuss, and potentially take action tonight. Other items of note, they'll amend the job description for Public Works Director as they continue to search for Bryant's replacement. They'll also discuss grant applications for the Texas Division of Emergency Management. TDM stepped in to assist the city during their declaration of disaster in January. Now the meeting begins shortly, and we'll give you all the latest updates on 25 News Now at 10. Reporting live from Seadrift City Hall, Trenton Whiting, KVU TV, 25 News Now.
Bloomington's Better Together group is hosting a town hall tonight. This is video from the group's January meeting. But tonight, residents will get an update from County Commissioner Danny Garcia, along with committee reports on this weekend's upcoming cleanup, Little League fundraisers, and other community news. The meeting is at the VFW Hall in Bloomington starting at 6:30.
The Goliad County Commissioners Court will have its next meeting this Friday at 9 a.m. Discussing and taking action on appointing a Precinct 1 constable is on the agenda. Kevin Story resigned as Precinct 1 constable February 7th following a resolution by the Commissioners Court to eliminate the role. The Goliad County Commissioners meeting Monday was canceled after officials realized it violated the Texas Open Meetings Act. The meeting was posted at least 72 hours ahead of time at the county courthouse, but was not posted online.
Victoria police and family members are shedding new light on a 5-year-old missing person case. It all started like a normal morning. Jeremy Vasquez, who was 16 at the time, was supposed to go to school. But after hearing an argument between his dad and stepmom, he decided to stay home. Instead, later, after another disagreement with his stepmom, Jeremy went for a walk with the family dog. And hours later, the dog came back, but Jeremy never did. A lot of our viewers, and honestly us too, had never heard of this case until the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released a new age progression image last week showing what Jeremy might look like today at 21 years old. Tonight on 25 News Now at 10, Amaya Norman talks with Jeremy's family about the case.
This brings us to our viewer poll tonight. When should the public be alerted about missing teens? The choices are all the time, when police decide, or when family decides. Overwhelmingly, 89% of our voters say the public should be alerted all the time about missing teens. We want to hear from you. We thank you for voting and visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we'll have the latest results tonight at 10.
Victoria police arrest a wanted man after a standoff at an apartment on East Airline. Officers arrived on February 14th to serve a warrant on Philip Longoria Garza for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and felon possession of a firearm. They spotted him on the balcony and ordered him to stay put while holding him at gunpoint. Other occupants refused to open the door, so officers forced entry. Inside, they detained 2 women and found a handgun in plain sight on the couch. Longoria Garza was arrested, and a search turned up nearly 500 grams of marijuana and multiple Xanax pills. He now faces several charges, including drug possession and unlawful firearm possession. All 3 people were taken to the Victoria County Jail.
A 53-year-old man is in the DeWitt County Jail on a human smuggling charge. DeWitt County deputies arrested Tomas Castillo on a traffic stop in Yorktown. An arrest warrant was found against Castillo from Webb County. The human smuggling charge is from 2022. Castillo was indicted in July of last year. Court records show Castillo did not show up for his arraignment hearing in September. That's when the warrant was issued. Castillo is in the DeWitt County Jail. No bond is set.
A Yorktown resident is raising concerns about the water flowing into his home. Timothy Bolt says he's been dealing with brown water for months, unsure if it's safe to drink or even shower with. Some days he says the water is dark brown. Other days it's a little clearer, but the problem does not go away. Now he's calling on the city to step up and fix it. We reached out to the Yorktown Public Works Department for answers, but they declined to comment. The TCEQ says it has not received any complaints. Lavaca County officials are warning residents about recent scams. They're urging residents to stay alert and protect their personal information. According to a Facebook post by the sheriff's office, the scammers have already targeted several local residents using tactics like fake AT&T refunds, Geek Squad subscriptions, toll road authority warrants, and IRS threats. Authorities are asking residents to be cautious and not share personal details over the phone. If something seems suspicious, they encourage you to call law enforcement before taking any action.
A section of East Street in Victoria is closing for utility work this week. Drivers in the area should plan for a temporary road closure on East Street between Rio Grande Street and the Chick-fil-A drive-thru from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day through Friday for a utility tie-in. Businesses and homes in the area will stay open and accessible, but officials recommend using alternate routes. A stretch of J2 Ranch Road is also closing for road work in Victoria County. From west to Highway 77 is closed to through traffic through Tuesday, March 4th for road improvements. We don't need much improving on our weather. We really don't. And time for a first look at our weather.
All right, well, let's go over to Mac Perez for a first look at our forecast, and feeling a lot like spring.
Well, it definitely will be feeling like spring. We're looking at temperatures staying almost near 80 degrees for the next 7 to 9 days. So you can put away your winter coat, your sweaters, maybe pull out the flip-flops coming up pretty soon. High pressure giving us the lovely weather. Little frontal system will be moving through here late tomorrow night. Will it cool us down? Well, a little bit. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. The number of West Texas measles cases rise to 124. The Texas Tribune reports of the 58 cases of measles recorded in Texas since January, 45 were reported in Gaines County. The measles outbreak, the largest in the state in 30 years, has spread from 2 cases and now includes 9 counties, most of them in the rural South Plains region. 18 patients were hospitalized and 2 counties are now reporting their first cases. A group of student athletes headed to a competition were stopped at a Texas Border Patrol checkpoint.
While Border Patrol says it was a routine stop, Congressman Gabe Vasquez is now demanding answers. Vania Castillo reports.
Student swimmers from Centennial, Las Cruces, and Mayfield High School were headed to Albuquerque on Friday when Border Patrol stopped their bus at a checkpoint. Agents say the bus didn't have school markings, so they treated it like a standard charter vehicle. District officials say everyone followed instructions and the team was quickly let go. This morning, the district met with U.S. Customs and Border Protection to talk about ways to avoid this kind of situation in the future.
So it was a very positive conversation, and we agreed upon some proactive measures that'll both help them and then, of course, help us in ensuring that our buses are moving through those checkpoints as fast as possible.
But Democratic Congressman Gabe Vasquez, who represents parts of southern New Mexico, is sounding the alarm, claiming the students were harassed.
We are a proud community here, and I think we have to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because my fear is that this is going to slip into a place that we don't want to see, that simply because the bus driver did not speak English.
He's not the only one concerned. Whitney Holland, president of the American Federation of Teachers New Mexico, says this never should have happened.
It doesn't matter if it was a charter bus, if it was a marked bus, if it was a loud and clear banner saying Las Cruces Public Schools. Students shouldn't be treated like that. Students shouldn't live in fear. They were doing exactly what we've asked of them, which is participate in extracurricular activities.
Vasquez has sent a letter to the Department of Homeland Security demanding answers, but when I asked him what specific actions he's taking to prevent this from happening again, He turned the conversation to broader immigration issues.
We're entering a new world of immigration enforcement, and we don't know how far the Trump administration is willing to go to bully our citizens. What's going to lead to racial profiling in communities like ours, majority Hispanic communities, and what overreach is yet to come.
The legal team for Ismael Mayo Zambada is negotiating with U.S. prosecutors to avoid the death penalty. His attorney says Zambada is willing to plead guilty to charges that do not carry the maximum sentence. Zambada was arrested last year in El Paso and faces multiple drug trafficking and money laundering charges. His lawyers have also requested consular assistance from Mexico, claiming his rights were violated during his arrest. Mexican officials say they are reviewing his request.
The U.S. Supreme Court heard a Texas death row inmate's appeal for a DNA test of evidence. Ruben Gutierrez wants to be able to sue prosecutors to compel them to test evidence that he says will prove he did not kill a Brownsville woman in 1998. Gutierrez was sentenced to death for the 1988 killing of Escolastica Harrison in Brownsville. Gutierrez spent the past decade seeking DNA testing of hair and blood found on Harrison's fingernails. He says will prove he was not the killer.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell, and you'll receive alerts when we upload new videos to our YouTube channel. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, a judge's latest decision puts pressure on the Trump administration over frozen aid funds.
Also ahead, a dangerous moment in the air over Chicago, how a Southwest Airlines flight narrowly avoided disaster.
From heartbreak to hope, a survivor's journey following heart failure.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's fears because, you know, it's not a guarantee. Talked to a guy one day, he's had his heart for over 30 years. That's reassuring.
Shawna Currie brings us their inspiring story as we celebrate Heart Month. Watch Beating the Odds, a 25 News Now Extra.
New developments in the Trump administration's plan to dismantle USAID. Today, a federal judge ordered the administration to pay foreign aid money owed to government contractors and nonprofit groups. The judge gave the administration until Wednesday night to comply. He issued a temporary restraining order on February 13th, requiring the Trump administration to unfreeze State Department and USAID funding. The administration still has not complied with the order. President Trump issued an executive order to suspend all foreign assistance last month. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says it plans to release millions of dollars in funding that's been paused due to a review of funding included in the Inflation Reduction Act.
The USDA is just one of several agencies that froze financial assistance in compliance with President Trump's executive orders.
In January, the Office of Management and Budget issued guidance requesting agencies to temporarily pause certain funding while putting it under review by the new administration. A memo from the OMB says that the freeze would not impact farmers, but funding was paused for review, causing some confusion among the agriculture industry. Bradley Dunsmore, president of Augusta County Farm Bureau, says while delays in receiving funding can impact farmers, there have not been instances where someone's contract on the farming level has been canceled.
If somebody's owed, $150,000 for some improvement that they've made, any delay of that magnitude is a significant delay for that farming operation. So it does appear now that a lot of this is starting to get worked through.
The newly confirmed USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins announced last week that the first portion of funding that was paused for review will be released. That's $20 million in contracts for the Environmental Quality Incentive Program, the Conservation Stewardship Program, and the Agriculture Conservation Easement Program.
It's a real positive for the ag industry that we now have a USDA secretary that can be our voice and can help. She will help more quickly get these issues resolved.
According to the USDA, more announcements will come as the USDA continues to review inflation reduction funding.
There was a close call at Chicago's Midway Airport Tuesday morning. A Southwest Airlines plane you see there avoided a collision with a private jet. Officials with the carrier say the flight crew was forced to perform a go-around in order to prevent a crash. A Southwest spokesperson adds the flight was able to land on the airport's runway without incident.
Do you think you can call this year's Academy Award winners? Step into the spotlight and predict the Oscars for your chance to win a gift card bundle from Peter Piper Pizza. Visit crossroadstoday.com to submit your predictions.
Good afternoon, everyone. Another beautiful day, lots of sunshine. Of course, there was the fog this morning, and we're probably going to see that again tomorrow. But I think you can put your winter coat away because we won't be needing it for the next 7 to 10 days. As a matter of fact, right now we're at 72. Winds are fairly strong out of the southeast at 16. We got up to 80 today. That compares to 71, which is where we're supposed to be. But we don't do anything normal around here. Anyway, we'll be talking about your spring-like weather coming up in a moment. Well, temperatures again really pushing above normal for this time of the year. We went from winter last week to summer this week because while we were doing comfortable at 72, it was up to 90 degrees along the Rio Grande today. Of course, they're getting a south wind coming off the landmass, and that is warmer than what we get. Our only problem is that we're going to probably do another night of or morning of pea soup or menudo, whatever you prefer. I mean, we're looking at half-mile visibilities beginning at around midnight. By 3 a.m., half-mile visibility all the way up and down Highway 59. And then by sunrise, we're looking at even 77. For those of you that have to get up early, like I said yesterday, you could just have another cup of coffee and wait for it to burn off, or you just have to go slow and low with the speed, because look at that, half-mile visibility or less in some spots. I mean, you couldn't see your nose in some areas of the crossroads this morning, because by 8 or 9 o'clock, it all burns off. You see sunshine certainly by 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, so it will be another issue again tomorrow morning. Your temperatures, well, also we're running above normal for this time of year. We'll be pushing upper 70s, almost 80 degrees. High pressure brought us the lovely weather today after all the cold air finally got away. We do have this little frontal system up here. It is going to make it to our area, but it is weakening dramatically because the low, which really is the center of the storm, pulling down the cold air, that's going to be traveling almost due east. As a result, the storm or the front or the colder air stays away from the front, and we'll get just a little bit of an impact over here, maybe a little cloud or two. That's about it. We're looking at 77 for tomorrow, and then after that front comes in, we'll be at 73. Wow, 5 to 8 degree cooler. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, well, it's looking really good. If you have outdoor plans, I mean, I know the livestock show is on. It's going to be, usually it's the worst weather of the year comes right for the livestock show. This year, it's the opposite. It finally took care of it. All right, here are your low temperatures tonight, getting down into the mid-50s throughout pretty much all of the crossroads. Houston 54, and then tomorrow with the morning fog, then the afternoon sun, we should get up to the upper 70s. But again, temperatures out west, San Antonio 81, 84 to 87 down along the Rio Grande. So we look at Future Tracker, we see, is anything moving in our direction? Well, other than the morning fog, very few clouds headed in our direction through Wednesday, Thursday. And as we get to the weekend, well, it'll be a little bit more traditional weather. In other words, a little morning cloud cover and afternoon sun, so a partly cloudy kind of situation. Tomorrow morning in Port Lavaca, getting down to about 60 degrees. Definitely south wind makes all the difference in the mild weather. Sunny skies in the afternoon, getting up to about 76. And in Cuero, you're getting down to about 58 tonight, up to almost 80 tomorrow. South wind and lots of sun, so if you got outdoor plans, it's going to be good. You're going to get a lot of things done after the brutal winter that we've been through. Anyway, so 77 tomorrow, then that little front comes through, knocks it down to 73, and then the weekend is upon us, getting into the upper 70s and looking real nice for whatever you have planned outdoors. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Shawna.
All right, thank you, Mac. Well, now we send it over to Max Williams, who's talking about a couple different sports where you can dribble the ball.
That's right, Shawna. After the break, we're going to get a live look there into the Cuero women's basketball game against Bridge City, and we'll preview Victoria East and West soccer later on here in sports. All right, everyone. So tonight is the night where the Cuero Lady Gobblers face the Bridge City Cardinals in the state semifinals at the Merrill Center in Katy, Texas. Now, earlier for the 5 p.m. show, we looked at sports reporter Ray Robinson there inside the arena, and now we get to see what the action is going on. It's in the first quarter right now. So, Ray, what is the atmosphere and the game looking like so far?
Max, I mean, like, this game is intense, and as you can probably hear that it's intense out here, but that is another word I would use to describe the first couple of plays, because the Gobblers, on the other hand, they had 3 offensive rebounds within the first play of the game, but we're just knee deep into the second quarter. The current score is 9-8. The Gobblers are down by 1. So it's going to be a close game tonight. But make sure you stay tuned on our Facebook page. I'll have constant updates, and on our 10 p.m., I will have a full recap of the game. Max, back to you.
All right, thanks, Ray. We can't wait to see what happens there. Close game early, 9-8. We'll see if anything changes going into later on tonight. Wish the Gobblers luck. Now, 2 weeks ago, we announced that Calhoun High School hired their new AD and head football coach, Stephen Herntzer, from Calallen as the coach. Well, later tonight on 25 News Now Sports at 10 p.m., you will hear from Herntzer himself about how he feels about taking over the former legendary head coach, Richard Whittaker, and what he schemes to kind of bring over to Calhoun there as the next head football coach. Now for some local high school soccer action. We have the Battle of the Boot action in soccer, not in football, everyone there. Victoria East there between Victoria West. Again, both teams heading in this contest are top 2 in district, with West 8-0 right now, East at 6-1. Again, winner of this game most likely will be the winner there of the district, and again, take the #1 seed there going into the playoffs. And then finally tonight, UHV softball had a home doubleheader there at home versus Texas A&M San Antonio Jaguars. This game would be a good one at the first one because they won the doubleheader, game 1, 1-0. Callie Lopez got the winning RBI, and right now, last I checked, they were up 8-1 there again in game number 2. We'll give you the full highlights and score updates later on 25 News Now at 10. That's going to do it here for sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Max, and we're back in a moment. You will not find this on Max's weekly fishing report. Ice fishing from Maine. Finally tonight, thick ice and the allure of prizes drew families to Lovejoy Pond in Maine for the first outdoor obsession youth ice fishing derby. This year's consistently freezing temperatures allowed the ice to thicken 16 inches deep on the pond. The competition was open to children 15 years old and younger. You just saw a young man there who's 4.5 years old. Some on the ice have been fishing for years while others drilled their first hole on Sunday. And you know, if they catch the fish, you really don't have to worry about keeping it on ice to keep it fresh.
Not at all.
Just keep it back in there. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Hanging by the window of the car, you know.
That's all you need right there. Yeah.
Keep it cold, if not frozen.
And our weather's on the other side of that.
Yeah,
We're getting
nothing
to
like
the
that.
nicer weather for fishing, the sun and the warm.
We shifted gears big time here. So folks, it's spring-like all the way through the next 7 days. Temperatures staying upper 70s tomorrow. A little front will give us a north wind on Thursday, but it's not much, only an 8-degree drop. And then the weekend is looking real good for outdoor activities. If you haven't done any ice fishing, no, you couldn't do that here. You could do. So how about just regular fishing down at Port Lavaca? You're going to have a great time.
That could work. That sounds
Even
good.
the river down at the park.
Yeah,
You know, anything like that.
A little fresh, a little salt water. Very good. Mac, thank you, and thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here tonight at 10.